Hey guys, it's Scarlett here. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all doing good. So, I thought I would do another live chat for you because I haven't done one of these in I think 2 weeks or so. I've been pretty busy lately, so I've been neglecting my free chats, so I'm sorry. But I'm back at it, and today I have a bit of a different discussion for you. And I wanted to talk about different interpretations of the Fool card, but also kind of different artistic interpretations of the Fool card. So how different decks choose to portray the Fool. And you know, in tarot, we all start with the Fool card. The Fool is number 0. And I know for those of you that take tarot lessons with me, we know that the Fool represents kind of innocence and naivete and new beginnings. So it's kind of fun to see how different artists and tarot deck creators, how they chose to visualize this character of the Fool. So I have 7 decks to show you guys of different interpretations of the Fool. Oh, here's Gregory come to join me. But I thought we would start and kind of just go over the different images and the different kind of artistic styles and hear your thoughts. So we're starting with the Rider-Waite Fool, which is the most common image of the Fool. And he looks like this. So you've probably seen this image before if you do any tarot study yourself, or if you do the tarot lessons with me, you've seen this one. This is the classic interpretation of the Fool. You can see here he's looking up and not about to see that he is about to fall off a cliff. Despite the dog barking at him, he is just full of enthusiasm and energy, ready for new beginnings, and again, that naivete, about to fall off that cliff into the world, right? So several of these symbols persist throughout different types of interpretations and different artwork. So I'm going to compare this image to a couple other ones to see kind of how they differ. And then at the end, I want you to tell me what is your favorite interpretation of the Fool. So we're starting here with Rider-Waite. He's a bit of a dandy in this image too. You can see his like fancy clothes. It's kind of fun. So compare this Fool to this Fool. And this is my most popular deck that I use for the majority of my readings, which is the Pagan Otherworlds deck. But you can already see how much symbolism carries over. Still the satchel that he carries with all his belongings, still the white rose being held in his hand, the dog at his feet, and the cliff he's about to tumble over. So these two images, while different kind of artistic styles, have the exact same symbolism, so it's really easy to figure out kind of what this card means and what it represents. So moving on to a few other ones. So from these two, we go into another deck, and this is the English Magic Tarot. So here you have another Fool character, and he's a bit of a dandy, like in this one. You can see kind of the fancy jester outfits. And in this one, he really does look more like a fool or a jester than in other interpretations. And usually the Fool doesn't specifically refer to an actual like court jester or clown or fool. It's more about kind of the concepts of naivete. But sometimes, every once in a while, you will get a card that kind of references that kind of jester appearance. And this deck is really fun because this character of the Fool shows up in the background of several of the other cards. And here, another interesting thing you can note is here again you have the bag that he carries. No white rose this time. Instead, the rose is at the bottom. He's kind of still falling off of a cliff, but it's more like a downhill kind of a thing. And here you have a hare or a rabbit instead of the classic dog. So that's kind of fun too. It kind of references that kind of frenetic energy of the rabbit, and also kind of zigzagging, not going in a straight direction, just how like the Fool moves through life. So moving from this interpretation to the Botticelli Tarot Fool, which is a bit different. Again, certain similarities. You see that dog, and though there's no cliff here, a bit odd. It's almost, and his posture is super different than any of the other fools that we've seen so far, right? It's almost like the world is crushing down on him. And he's like, I don't know what to do. So this kind of interpretation of the fool, I find, is very different from a lot of other ones. It still retains some of that symbolism, but the concept of naivete and is more kind of a misfortune due to that, I think, due to his expression there, than kind of that that energy and that enthusiasm and that zeal for life, for beginning life, for new beginnings, than you see in other cards. Moving into a humorous depiction of the fool, we have the Eros. We have the Eros deck, which is, you can see those sexual references there. And here you have a cat as opposed to a dog biting on his calf there. And again, about to fall off that, that cliff there. This is in the Marseille Tarot style. And again, like this image, you have that sun up in that corner. So kind of a funny, humorous interpretation of the Fool card as well. Moving into the last two interpretations of the Fool that are a bit more kind of abstract. I have the Invisible Light Tarot Fool, this one in black and white, showing a woman, kind of like a young woman. This deck is a little hipstery. And she's about to step upwards as opposed to falling off a cliff, stepping up onto the structure here. But it's a bit of an unstable structure, so still kind of referencing that she might tumble down at any moment. And here is kind of a bit more misty. It's not as like clear lines. Again, there's no, you know, symbol of the dog or the rose or the sun as much in this interpretation as you see in other ones. And then finally, the last interpretation of the Fool that I wanted to show you today was the Wild Unknown Tarot. And here, the Wild Unknown Tarot doesn't have images with people. Instead, it's either animals or objects. And here we have a little baby bird, and he is on the branch. And I think this is a excellent kind of more abstract symbolism for the Fool, because it still connects a lot with some of those main themes. So here you have new beginnings, represented again as the baby bird, right? So it's got that potential energy. Life hasn't fully started yet. You have that instead of falling off a cliff into the world, you're about to take a leap of faith that birds do off that branch to try to fly for the first time. So that symbolism is retained. That optimism and enthusiasm of the sun imagery is represented instead of an actual sun, you see it in the coloring with that yellows and oranges in this image. And it's kind of dark at the bottom, not knowing what that baby bird is going to jump off into. So showing them all together, let me see if I can hold them all in my one hand. We have the Rider-Waite, along with the Pagan Otherworlds, along with the English Magic Tarot, along with the Botticelli, and then we have the Eros deck. I don't think I can hold them all. And we have the Invisible Light Tarot, and then we have the Wild Unknown Tarot. So I'd be curious if you want to comment in the comments below, what artistic interpretation of the Fool do you connect with the most? Which one do you think fully represents those kind of ideals of innocence and naivete and new beginnings and excitement and potential energy that the Fool stands for? Which one kind of do you connect with? And what kind of symbolism is your favorite? Or do you have a separate deck that you have a love for and that you love the Fool card in that deck? I'd love to know, and if you can share an image too, that would be great. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to just do a quick run through of different kind of ways artists have worked with the Fool and chosen to portray him. And I'm sure I'll be doing more videos and more little live chats in the future. So I hope you all doing good, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.